Champions Melrose are the only Premier 1 team with maximum points as they sit at the top of the table with 10 points following their convincing 39-16 win against Curry at the Green Yards. They scored 5 tries with Fraser Thompson, Bruce Colvin, Joe Helps, Andrew Skeen and ex-Curry player Alan Walker all getting on the score sheet, with Skeen kicking 4 conversions and 2 penalties. But coach Craig Chalmers wasn't totally satisfied.
Yeah, it was a good win in the end. I mean, the scoreboard tells the story. We were dominant for most of the game. We restricted them to very few, try scoring opportunities. We were a bit lazy at times, gave away a few soft penalties, which they got the scoreboard ticking. But we were 2, 3, 4 passes away from another 4 good tries there today, and that's what I'm disappointed with, because it could have been a 50-pointer today. It'd be nice to do that against Curry at the Green Yards, because they are one of the top sides. But it's great to win, but you're always looking to improve, and it's a big improvement from last week. Yeah. We didn't play particularly well last week at Aberdeen, but we dogged it out and took our chances, and today we created a lot more today, which was encouraging.
Gala beat Curry away from home last week, but couldn't beat Ayr at Netherdale. Despite dominating the visitors' pack, they went down 2013. George Graham scored a try converted by Lee Miller, who also planted 2 penalties, but it wasn't good enough, and head coach George Graham Sr. was far from happy.
Bitterly disappointed. I think it was 3 points lost rather than a point gain. I think we dominated with possession and territory for most of the game, but we just didn't execute, and we never obviously took advantage of these stats. And I'm bitterly disappointed with the loss, and I'm bitterly disappointed with my players, to be honest with you. There's a lot of talking to be done, a lot of video stuff we'll do, and we'll get people in that need to be identified what they're doing wrong. But yeah, I'm actually very angry right now.
Hawick hoped to win their first ever match for the Bill McLaren Shield, but despite scoring the only try of the game by Keith Davis, converted by Gary Johnston, they were outpointed 9-7 with 3 penalty goals from Harry Leonard. In Premier 2, better news for local clubs this week, with 3 out of our 4 sides winning. Hats off to new standoff Mark Chester of Kelso. He marked his debut with a hat-trick of tries and a personal tally of 26 points against Watsonians, winning 41-18. Greg Minto and Liam Mitchell got a try each, as did Richard Minto against his old club. A tremendous comeback then, following last weekend's drubbing at Hamilton. Kelso coach Eugene Murnane.
It was a convincing win, really, I suppose, overall by the end of the game, but what we were looking for today was the fact that bouncing back after a heavy defeat last week, so we were pleased in that respect. The boys bounced back well, they showed a bit of character, and, they rolled their sleeves up, they battled for each other, which is most important, It gives us a bit of confidence now going into next week, like last week, like I said, we didn't really get going at all, and like we said during the week that the season starts from today was going to be the first game, so now it's up to us next week to build on that and take the good attitude and the workmanlike performance now into every other game now that's following up.
Jed Forrest beat Hillhead Jordan Hill 13-6 in a poor game at Riverside Park. Jed had plenty of chances to rack up points, but handling errors and poor decisions made the game much closer than it should have been. Darren Gillespie and David Grieve were the try scorers. We hear from Jed boss Darren Cunningham.
Attacking wise, it was really difficult today. They put a lot of pressure on us in midfield. We couldn't really get any continuity, and we're trying to force passes and pulling the passes going behind the receiver and stuff. So it was really difficult today. But defensively, we're absolutely, myself, Kevin, and the rest of the staff were absolutely over the moon about our defence. Shut them out. They got a couple of penalties, but the fact that we shut them out with tries, we've been working on it all week. It obviously let us down last week. We should have had 5 points last week and came away with 2, and that was just lack of tackling basically. And we've sorted that out. And I think we just thought it was going to come with the attack, and obviously when it didn't and they were putting us under a lot of pressure, then we struggled a little bit. But to be honest, I think we deserved a win.
Selkirk visited White Craigs and came away with a win, also by 13-6. Rory Banks scoring the only try of the game, with David Cassidy kicking 2 penalties and a conversion. Peebles struggled at home to Stuart's Melville, going down heavily 39-13. Dale Clancy scored their only try and Neil Warnock booted the rest. And here is reaction from Neil Warnock.
Pretty disappointed with the performance. A lot of things to work on in training this week. We know ourselves we can do a lot better, so hopefully we can improve next week against Selkirk.
In the National League, Hawick YM beat Livingston 33-0 to remain unbeaten, but Langham lost to Ellen 39-9. The East Leagues got underway with Duns, Berwick and Hawick Lindeen all competing in the First Division together for the first time. Duns beat Portobello 37-17, Berwick lost 27-12 at Forrester, and Hawick Lindeen were roundly smashed at Preston Lodge 79-0. In East 2, Hoyt Quinns won the local derby against Gala YM 21-8, while in Division 3, Walkerburn slumped to a 42-0 loss at Leith. The East League games involving Earlston and St Boswell's were both postponed.